welcome to episode 56 of the MMG podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined by our NFL draft analyst, Chet Avery.
You see, the way to tell certain sports equipment apart is like this. If it's larger and orange colored, you got that in basketball right there. If it's smaller, white, and has some red laces on it, that's a baseball, my friend. If it's not a ball at all, because the definition of a ball, if I could pull it up right now, is something round. That's a football, my friend. And if it's like a little puck-like thing, well, that's a puck.
It's like it's one of those things where you put the definition of the word, you put the word in the definition of said word.
Yeah, how that's the most direct way to describing something is to use the thing you're describing.
Yeah, for sure.
Why would you use anything else?
Well, Chet, it's good to see that you're kind of taking the you got the random intro from Mr. Go Cubs.
Who?
Because yeah, you're right. Well, he knows you, so I don't know how you.
I don't show.
I mean, you got he did inform us how last year when we tried to request your services, unfortunately, you could not make it. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was just minding my own business, walking in downtown Austin, Texas. And you know, the big city, sometimes there's some things there that you're not quite sure what to expect, and sure enough, a large bag of cocaine just fell on me. I later found out it was not cocaine.
Really?
It was unmixed concrete, so like it was just the powder, but it was still like packed in the bag, so it was still like really hard.
Yeah, and you're just really heavy. It's like
that's really heavy. And I was in the hospital for a decent amount of time recovering, but I'm back now.
Yeah, you're back, and it's been the first time in a few years since we've got to talk to you, because I think that the thing is, we don't have experts on the show often. It's just two guys just chatting, trying to give our best takes on football. But to have an analyst like you on, I think it's going to be very important, to get the best insight that we can into what these teams will be doing for the NFL draft. And so I thank you for coming. What do you do like outside of this, like in terms of like, I don't really see you on other media platforms. So like, are you with another company, or is it?
I do mock drafts year round.
Okay. And
yeah.
And like, where do you post those mock drafts anywhere, or
no?
Okay, so it's like kind of like you do it on your own. And...
Yeah, it's a personal product, and this time of year I get some recognition for it. So
that's good. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad to provide the platform. It's gonna be really good. So so if it hasn't been included already for the viewers, we are doing our draft preview podcast. Go Cubs is out busy doing other things, we wanted to have him on today with Chet. I mean, it's been weird that you guys have never really been on the podcast together before.
Sounds like you're giving us conspiracy of some kind.
I'm not gonna peddle any conspiracy, because I actually, like, he didn't really give me like a distinct reason as to what he was doing, but he just said that like he was just busy today, and I was just like, all right, well, fuck you. I guess I'll just have Chet, me and Chet,
Yeah.
We'll ride together. But we will we can absolutely just delve right into it. Honestly, we can. It's gonna be a big, crazy fucking first round, and so we're gonna just go through each of the picks for the first round as they stand, and just Chet will give his view of what each team will do at those picks, and it'll be a mock draft live, if you will. And so, Chet, without any further ado, the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. What do they do?
Well, look, I like even no matter what. I think that the Cardinals have a lot riding on this very first pick. There's no way. There's no way in hell that they're gonna get rid of it. I don't think they would be able to get enough, especially with this guy Cliff Kingsbury, from the who strange coaching decision, but he really seems to like this Kyler Murray kid, and
Mm-hmm.
even though they have this quarterback in Josh Rosen who did not play too great, but was not on a great team or in a great coaching system at all.
Mm-hmm.
He still, I'm sure, has a lot of potential, but with how Cliff Kingsbury is, and how he seems to be in the Sean McVay breathed on him camp, um,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to go with someone that more suited to this coaching style. So I think Kyler Murray is going to be the first picked quarterback out of this group.
That's gonna be stunning, dude. I mean, if they actually go Kyler Murray a year after they took Rosen, I don't know when the last time a team, if they ever happened, a team took back-to-back quarterbacks.
I
Uh,
mean,
that's insane.
this stuff has happened to head coaches before, where they've been on the team for a year and then
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely part of that's definitely part of it. Like the fact that it's a new head coach and so they want new personnel, but it's just I don't know. Like usually you the reason that you get a head coach is to help your part of it. A big part of it should be to help the quarterback that you have there succeed. And the fact that they're just gonna kind of throw that away, that's gonna be crazy if that ends up happening. And then I'm very curious as to see where Rosen lands.
yeah, and you never know. They could get some other picks, some other draft capital for this
Exactly.
for that trade.
Yeah, and then then the Cardinals could use that to kind of build something around Murray at that point. Um, so what do you so moving forward then? Now all these great defensive linemen are still on the board. Did the Niners go defensive lineman or defensive player, or did they go somewhere else?
Well, look, I think that if the Cardinals, if I thought that the Cardinals were going to stick with Josh Rosen, obviously they wouldn't have picked Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
The best player in this draft that is Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Uh, Nick Bosa, from the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic talent, and I think that if the Cardinals would go for him, had he not, if he were not, if they decided to stay with Josh Rosen. However,
Mm-hmm.
since he's the best player in the draft, and San Francisco really needs people at every position except for quarterback, they will take the best player off of the board. So San Francisco will get
Nick Bosa.
Mr. Nick Bosa.
Have you? It's very strange that Ohio State is almost always the home of the best player in the draft.
It is like a few years ago he had Ezekiel Elliott. Last year, I can't think of names.
Well, you're an Ohio State alum, man.
Yeah, you're right.
You think you should?
Memory's not too good right now.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? I can forgive you because the injury must have been really rough and kind of fucked with you in that way. So that's fine. No, let's move on to the Jets.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while, they don't have to worry about quarterback. Sam Darnold's the future. So what do you think is going to happen with this third pick?
You're right. Sam Darnold is the future, and they have some pretty good stuff around them on offense, but defense is where they need to they need to step it up, really become a good front. And I'm going to go with a little bit of a surprise here. I think Ed Oliver is going to be the one that they are going to take here out of Houston.
Yeah,
Ed Oliver has shown a lot of potential. I think that they could put this defensive tackle to use extremely well.
yeah. In my other job that I have besides doing podcasting full time, totally. I got a chance to talk to another draft analyst, who actually said the same thing in terms of like it would be surprising, but you know, if the idea of Ed Oliver being the third overall pick, no one would see it coming. But at the same time, it's like he's a really amazing player. He was at one point when he was still in college many people thought he was going to be a number 1 overall pick, but that his stock kind of like dropped in recent times. But if the Jets pick him at 3, I don't think that they're going to regret that. That's going to be a great player to have, someone that might even be like Khalil Mack level of talent that just disrupts.
Totally agree.
It's going to be very interesting.
Speaking of Khalil Mack,
yes,
let's go on to the Raiders and who they're going to get to try to replace him. And that's going to be hard because you can't replace something like that.
Yes.
The Raiders are idiots giving up the talent that is Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
But they're also idiots for giving up Khalil Mack. They with this pick, I think that they are going to add a defensive player in Josh Allen. Josh Allen is another player who I feel is really in the draft. And not only will he be the perfect the perfect defensive edge player, but he could also step in at quarterback if needed.
Yeah, he's gonna be very diverse in terms of the way where he can play as an edge rusher,
and also what city he can play in, because this dude's signing up for the Raiders. He signed up for the Bills. He went to Wyoming and Kentucky.
Yeah,
that's all over the goddamn United States, dude.
Yeah, this is pretty much. All right, so that's Josh Allen. So 3 of the top defensive picks right off the board there. What about number 5 with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also need maybe a little depth on defense?
Their defense is atrocious. It's the worst. Are they going to? Yes, because they kind of have to, because there's also like not as good offensive players this high up, other than quarterback, but they're going with Jameis Winston for some reason. But here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to get some linebacker help with Devin White from LSU.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I think they need a linebacking person. I don't know why I'm talking like that. They need a linebacker because they got rid of Quan Alexander, who was one of their better players. He's now in San Francisco. So to fill that void, I think that's going to be a really important pick for them to make. And I think that it makes a lot of sense to go with White there. All right, Chet. I know that you're not a big fan of the Giants. I'm a big Giants fan here, but you gotta help me here. Give me a quarterback, please.
See, that would require me thinking that the Giants it.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately for you, I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot say that.
Yeah.
This pick, the Giants are going to get a defensive player that that they may like trade away in 1 year or let go for no goddamn reason. Quinnen Williams from Alabama.
Okay, now see, I love that pick, but I would be fucking frustrated that's not a quarterback, but I love that pick because he's a dominant fucking player.
He really is.
I remember watching him during the national championship game, and he was a lot of fun. And so I definitely would love to see them pick him, but that's in lieu of no quarterback. But okay, we do have the 17th pick. It's not all end of the world for that front yet. Jaguars, number 7.
The Jaguars, so close to success so far. They should have kept that Bortles kid, I'm telling you. But with this one, now that they have the Antichrist Nick Foles, that was a little mean even for my standards. I meant because he was an Eagles player. And I don't like the Eagles. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
But that was even a little too mean. I apologize.
Yeah, it's all good.
But now that they have him on their team, and they are really trying to assert themselves as this run first, very run heavy offense, Jawan Taylor will really help with that, allowing Leonard Fournette to drive through the defense.
Mm-hmm. And
hopefully he has a license for it.
He's got a license. A lot of dysfunction still in Jacksonville. Executive vice presidents calling out their players for some reason for not doing voluntary workouts. Leonard Fournette, his off-field issues that he's dealing with. That offense is definitely a lot of questions are there, and the team as a whole has a lot of questions. But I think Jawan Taylor is that they need to pick him. They need to pick someone to protect Nick Foles, and so that way that offense could run somewhat coherently. What about the Lions at number 8?
The Lions at number 8. This is another team with a very lackluster defense, despite a defensive head coach. And the level of defense is going to need some help to reach the level of to reach like the girth and size of their head coach's beard. So at this point, they're gonna add some sweat to their beard. Montez Sweat, Mississippi State.
Ew. That was a gross analogy.
But it was an analogy nonetheless.
It was an analogy. I like that pick. There has been some lingering concern with Sweat in terms of his heart condition that he's dealing with. But there is so much talent there, and I think that a lot of teams all it takes is one team to kind of look at him and want to take him, and I think he's gonna end up being fine. I think he's gonna be drafted pretty high, and I think the Lions are a perfect fit for him. The Bills, number 9.
The Buffalo Bills in this case. See, the thing with the Bills right now is they have this quarterback who is able to throw extremely far downfield. Terrible completion percentage.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrid accuracy this quarterback has. But he still is going to need people who can catch the ball. That's something that they are kind of averse to. They have these field stretches right now in John Brown, and I think a very elite, close end would be great here.
Yeah, you actually, Chet, you cut out. I don't know if there's some interference happening, but can you just say that name one more time?
You're right, because I didn't say a name. I just said a tight end.
Oh, okay. All right, so tight end. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. Who do you got?
Noah Fant is who I'm going to go in this one.
That's a surprising one. I like it because I think that I think a lot of people have their eye on T.J. Hawkinson, but his teammate in Iowa, in Noah Fant, has also been picking up a lot of steam, and that'd be a great fit for the Buffalo Bills. That's awesome. That's a good pick. I like it.
Of course, it's a good pick.
Of course it is. The Denver Broncos in number 10. I mean, they have Flacco now at quarterback because it seems like there's just a random quarterback under center for them every fucking year. So are they going to help him out, or are they going to go defense and try to bring that defense back to where it was in 2015?
Here's the thing. Joe Flacco and Case Keenum had almost identical years in their respective teams. Joe Flacco is not an improvement for this Denver Broncos, and with the overshadowing of Peyton Manning in the distance, I think that Denver is hungry for a good quarterback again.
Yeah.
So Denver is going to take the second quarterback off of the board, and they're going to go with. I'm pausing for suspense.
Yeah, I know. It's really intense. I like it. It's like a pregnant pause.
Pregnant?
Yeah, they call it pregnant pause.
I haven't heard that expression before. They're going to go with Drew Lock.
Oh, all right.
I think a more traditional type of quarterback will fit well in this Broncos system. Now that Vic Fangio has taken over. Mm-hmm. And this would be a good time to this quarterback underneath Joe Flacco, who has so many Super Bowl championship and so many years experience behind him.
Yes, so many Super Bowl championship. The no, I like it, and I think the with Locke, he's a very accurate quarterback. Tries not to throw too many interceptions. I think he did not even throw a single interception last season. So,
Well, let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret, Chris. Most quarterbacks try not to throw interceptions.
yeah, that is very that's fair. That's a fair take there. Let's move on to the Bengals. Number 11. They're still riding Andy Dalton. So are they gonna help him or go defense?
You know what? That Andy Dalton under new system. The offense now on Cincinnati has such a history together,
Mm-hmm.
and when they're on, they're on.
Mm.
Andy Dalton, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, even Tyler Eifert at this point. They have like this history together.
Yeah.
And in a new system, I say that they give Dalton one more year to see what he's made of.
Mm-hmm.
Not take a quarterback this time. They help out their defense a little bit and add in another Devin linebacker. This time, Devin Bush from Michigan.
Yeah, that's a good one. They had one of the worst defenses down the stretch last year. They need some kind of depth at those positions. I like Bush on that one as well. All right, the Green Bay Packers, number 12.
The Green Bay Packers are another team that been struggling recently on defense, especially.
Mm-hmm.
This is another team where I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is the way or is on the way out by any means in any sense of the word,
Mm-hmm.
because he is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play.
Sure.
Shout out to Troy Aikman. In this case, I think they're going to add some help to their defense as well, with a defensive end player in Rashawn Gary.
Okay, yeah. Rashawn Gary, is so weird that he was kind of almost like he was among like the top 5 picks very early on in the draft process, and he's since moved down. I think that's gonna be a steal for the Packers to get a guy like that. They need someone that can disrupt plays every chance that he gets. So that's gonna be great. What about the Miami Dolphins, number 13?
Miami, they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick out in a glorious ablaze before they start rebuilding next year. That being said, I think that they have the chance to grab their quarterback of the future in this draft. That quarterback is going to be, once again, my favorite draft, Dwayne Haskins.
Of course, your Ohio State leader. The guy that quarterbacked a very nice offense. In Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State. I'm so sorry. This is the point as a Giants fan that I get very sad, because I really now the only hope would be Daniel Jones, if they dropped him. But the Dolphins get Dwayne Haskins, is another pro style quarterback, and for Brian Flores and that team, that's gonna be a good start to kick off their era. So could be great. What about the Falcons at number 14?
Atlanta is another team that seems to be like a trend among half of the NFC South teams, in that their offense is pretty damn good, but their defense is pretty damn awful, atrocious.
Yeah.
The Falcons could do something to bolster this defense, and with that, I think that they're going to add a defensive tackle in Christian Wilkins from Clemson.
I enjoyed watching him in college, and he was kind of almost the face of that defense for a few years, and so I'm gonna be so excited to see him go that early in the draft. He deserves it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun seeing him play in the pros. What about number 15, the Washington Redskins?
Washington, to all the teams that I hate today.
Yes.
We're getting to most just teams in the draft. So
yeah.
except mine. But the Washington needs a lot of help, like everywhere.
Yes.
I can't think of a single position that they are 100% locked in.
Yeah.
Um, so that being said, the one thing that they've kind of hit and missed on that I think they're going to hit on this time is they're the best wide receiver from the combine, DK Metcalf.
That will actually make this team fun to watch. That guy is so much fun. He was such a kick-ass player in the combine. And even if you watch some of the game tape, it's just so much fun. He's so dominant, and he's gonna be a huge get for the Washington if they actually go through with it. Next up is Carolina Panthers at number 16.
The Carolina Panthers are losing some of their perennial talent when it comes to their offensive line, and they're going to need to replace Matt Khalil in a very meaningful way. So I think Andre Dillard is going to be the next one to step into this role.
Yeah, I think he had one of the best, or if not the best, combines of any of the offensive linemen in this draft. So I think that works out best for them. Panthers are even losing kind of some of their shine in the sense that they only have one primetime game all year right now, which is kind of surprising.
They sucked ass the second half of last season.
Yeah, that is really rough for them. But maybe they'll surprise some people and go back to dominating, especially if they have enough to protect Cam Newton from injury. All right, Giants, number 17. Just take the dagger and just stab me with it if you have to.
The first pick, I don't think that the Giants have taking a defensive player, I think is will 100% happen because they do need a defensive player, and I think those are better than the quarterbacks available on the board.
Sure.
However, at this point in the draft, the Giants need a successor to Eli Manning. Daniel Jones at quarterback is what will happen here.
I love the idea of having Daniel Jones be the quarterback because he's kind of, it's almost the perfect Eli. It's almost perfect to have him sitting behind Eli because they both have the same mentor in the head coach from Duke, who I cannot remember the fucking name of. But I think that I'm hoping that he's a better player than Eli Manning, is obviously, but that it's going to be really cool to see if that I think that's going to be a really good fit for this team if they end up taking him there. So I like it. I like the pick, and we have the quarterback, and that'd be good. What about number 18, Minnesota Vikings?
The Minnesota Vikings, another team fallen from grace. You know, if you look at Kirk Cousins' overall numbers as a quarterback, he didn't have that bad of a year.
No, I don't think so.
No, but they're not in the playoffs, and they paid him. They did not make the playoffs, and they paid him a lot of money.
Right.
To not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So with this team, another team that wants to do run first, pass later stuff. I think that they're going to focus on their offense and draft Jonah Williams out of Alabama.
They need to shore up that interior offensive line. That's a great,
they sure do.
Great pick. He really made those running backs shine for Alabama last year. So that's gonna be awesome, an awesome fit for them to maybe get Dalvin Cook cooking in that fucking backfield. My goodness gracious.
I get the joke.
The number, I just want to die now. Number 19, the Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans are going to add to their defensive core. They do not have anything figured out on offense except for Derrick Henry. But even then, I still think they're going to find a way to fuck that up. Um, but defensively, they're going to add Brian Burns from Florida State.
Okay,
They
yeah.
got two. They got two quarterbacks right now that they can figure something out with. Two running backs right now, Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, that they can figure something out with.
Mm.
Technically, wide receiver is a position on their roster, but
Yeah, they rely on the tight ends, you know.
they do.
Brian Burns is gonna pair well with Jarrell Casey. Or not they're not necessarily pair well because Jarrell Casey's a defensive tackle, but it's on the same line. You know, that's gonna be a really dominant line with Brian Burns there. So that's a great pick for them. Pittsburgh Steelers, number 20.
You know the thing about drafts, and especially the first round, is
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of these picks are not the sexy picks.
Sure.
Because more often than not, the defensive picks, not many people really look at that much. Since the offensive picks are uh, scoring the points, they're the ones who are they're the ones who doing other things. They're the ones in fantasy that matter. And this is another unsexy pick in that regard because they're back in Byron Murphy from Washington.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of an up and coming cornerback, and I think that would be shocking to see him go before Greedy Williams, but he's a good player, and he's able to track the ball better than a lot of the players in this draft. So I think that would be a fun one for the Steelers to get, and they have a lot of good wide receivers in that fucking division. So they gotta be able to shore up and get someone good on them. So Brian Murphy, I think, is gonna be perfect. Number 21, Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks. I've been talking about run first teams. This team ran the most last season, and I think they want to do the same thing. However, they just made Russell Wilson the highest paid player in football.
Mm.
They're not going to do that without giving him some help.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle will draft N'Keal Harry
Oh, okay. I like
out of
it.
out of Arizona State.
Yeah, he's an up and coming wide receiver in this draft. I'm kind of starting to hear his name more and more. And that's going to be a really fun pick for them just to get some more weapons for Russell Wilson, and make his money worth it for Seattle moving forward. Like it. Baltimore Ravens, number 22.
Baltimore Ravens, number 22, are going to second pick in a row at the same position, but Lamar Jackson needs people to throw to. I literally cannot name a on the Ravens roster.
Willie Snead, Seth Roberts.
The Ravens are going to draft Marquise Brown.
Yes.
Hollywood Brown.
Yes, Hollywood Brown. I love it. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Lamar Jackson, but he's been working in the so
yeah,
hopefully something will come out of that.
yeah. No, Hollywood Brown is gonna be that would be just such a kick ass pick, and he's also like, I think like the cousin of Antonio Brown, so kind of like some eerie, like all of a sudden, oh well, AFC, there's still a Brown in the AFC North, so there you go.
There is.
So that's he was so much fun in Oklahoma. It's gonna be fun to see him continue to play with the Ravens. Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson was the most sacked quarterback this past season.
Mm-hmm.
They need to fix that like immediately so that he can actually throw the ball to his receivers.
Yeah.
Cody Ford out of Oklahoma.
Oh.
A guard.
Ooh, I like it. I think I didn't really think that there would be a ton of offensive linemen picked in the first round, but that's definitely he's definitely an option, and I think that's going to help. We need to keep on seeing Watson upright. He's such a good player. You cannot let him get injured behind that line. He's been doing good thus far. Let's keep it up. Oakland Raiders number 24, and so now this is the Raiders again because
This is
they got the pick from I think
this was our gift for Amari Cooper.
Yes, that's right. Well, unfortunately, yes, the boys will not be. Or no, that is actually this is the pick from the Bears, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's the earlier pick.
Yes.
So this was the one for Khalil Mack. All right, interesting.
Yes. With this pick, the Raiders are going to give another weapon for their quarterback and their offensive system.
Mm-hmm.
This is where T.J. Hawkinson is finally going to go.
Okay.
They will get a tight end to replace what was his fucking name?
Jared Cook.
Jared Cook, who was the best receiver on the team last year once Amari left.
Yeah. No, Jared Cook had a great year, but getting T.J. Hawkinson, they're saying he's like a generational tight end, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see him in that offense if it could all work out together. So you got Derek Carr, you got Antonio Brown, and now you got T.J. Hawkinson as well, and that throwing attack, the air attack, I guess. Very interesting. Philadelphia Eagles at number 25.
Philadelphia Eagles have one of the strangely most crowded backfield in this sport right now.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to have good backfield. You just draft Ezekiel Elliott, and then you're golden.
Yes.
I don't know why that's so hard to understand. But in that sense, there's going to be a lot of competition. They're going to probably use the best one out of this group, and they're going to add another one to that group, Josh Jacobs from Alabama.
The first running back taken in this draft.
Yeah. Add on to that. Like they want a Super Bowl, another Super Bowl bad because when they lose this, what they have going for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Wentz may be a little overrated because he's never been able to finish a season successfully.
Possibly.
Part of that for injury, most of that for injury, but we haven't seen him do it yet. So some more offensive talent to boost this guy up will help them out, much to my dismay.
Absolutely, I like it. It's a fun pick, and I think that that could definitely open up the offense a lot to have a player like that in the backfield. Next up is the Indianapolis Colts at 26.
What do you get when you combine the potential, some people consider him the greatest wide receiver of all time, with the greatest wide receiver in the state of Ohio before Odell Beckham showed up?
Okay.
What do you get?
Odell and
before Odell showed up.
Oh, before Odell showed up.
You get AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. Oh, I see. So that's the wide receiver. All right, I like it.
Yeah, AJ Brown in Mississippi. They need some more help on their wide receiver core front. They have Eric Ebron. They have T.Y. Hilton. But beyond that, they can use this to be potentially the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Even better than the Kansas City Chiefs.
For sure. I like it, and they need to have as many weapons as possible for Andrew Luck. I think they've had a good time with wide receiver 2s this year. So this should be this would be a really big upgrade for them though at that position. So that would be great. All right, here's the Cowboy pick, but it's going to be the Raiders picking it
for Amari Cooper.
Yes.
We are going to give the Oakland Raiders some more defensive help. They got an edge rusher in Josh Allen earlier on in the draft, and here they're going to add to their secondary.
Yeah.
Greedy Williams out of LSU.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's important. You need to shore up that position for sure, and that makes the most sense to me that he goes there. I think that team. I think if that's the haul that the Raiders end up walking away with, that's a pretty good haul in terms of this draft, and they're
having Goddamn picks.
Yeah, yeah, I think that definitely they've upgraded. But again, we'll see. They need to show that they're gonna win this year. If John Gruden wants to stay throughout his whole fucking 10-year contract. My God. The Chargers at 28.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
The Chargers are going to draft the best name in the draft. Yasin.
Ah, yes, Rock Yasin. I like it. Just purely. I have nothing game wise to say purely because of the fucking name. He's just I like him because of the name. He's just a that's a fun name to say, and they're gonna be like. It's gonna be like a "We will rock ya" memes that they're gonna keep on creating. I just know it. That's what's gonna happen.
Going to be spectacular.
It's gonna be spectacular. They need that cornerback help, and that's gonna be a good spot for them. All right, the Chiefs at number 29.
The Chiefs at 29. They need a lot of defensive help, but they also may need some wide receiver help, pending recent reports.
Yeah.
However, here I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to add to their with a safety in Taylor Rapp.
Ooh. All right. Interesting. Yeah, they need to replace Eric Berry, and I think that's a big step forward is to address that position. They need the secondary help really bad. Their defense is thinning, and it hasn't really improved much this offseason at all. So that's going to be a good start for them. All right, Packers. Traded down for the Saints to get Marcus Davenport last year, so they have another first-round pick. What do you got for the Packers in part 2?
The Packers are going to line a little bit and help out their pretty good offense. They're gonna draft a center, Garrett Bradbury.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, they definitely need to protect Aaron Rodgers, and I think that Rodgers if he could stay healthy for one fucking year now, it's getting to that point where he's just gonna get hurt every single year, and it sucks.
They could, you know what they could have done?
What?
They could have caught their losses after that first game when he got his world destroyed.
Yeah.
By Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And just have been like, oh, okay, we're done this year. We're losing Mike McCarthy anyway. We might as well get a higher draft pick. But no, they had to. That was good enough for them.
Yeah, keep him around, keep him on the field, and kind of hurt his fracture that he had.
Yeah,
even more.
Made it worse.
So
I think literally, I think it was a pride thing that they couldn't lose to the Bears on their 100th year anniversary. Literally, I think the only reason.
Probably that's really upsetting. Just as a football fan, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers play a full season. So an offensive lineman to protect him is a good way to go.
Yes.
Los Angeles Rams with 31. How can they get back to the Super Bowl and this time win it?
They need to not lie about Todd Gurley's health.
Yeah, that's a big first step.
You want the truth? I'll give you the truth.
Yeah, for sure. Now, so what are they gonna be doing with this pick though?
Oh, with this pick, they're gonna help out their defense and get a player in Jerry Tillery from Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's a very much a suffocating player on the line, and I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing him play at the next level. They definitely need it because they did lose Ndamukong Suh, so just having that added player in there is definitely gonna help to shore up that defense even more. All right, and finally, last but not least, the New England Patriots at number 32 seems like a familiar position to be picking at yet again.
Oh yes.
What do you got for this number 32 pick?
For this final pick, they're going to they are a defensive team, but they've been able to do defensive head coach, I should say. That has been able to do a lot with with not a ton of huge names on defense.
Yeah.
That being said, I think this is the year where they add someone with high draft, with a first round draft pick to their defense,
Mm-hmm.
Dexter Lawrence from Clemson.
Yeah, that's a very popular pick for them, and I think it's gonna work out for them. They need to get someone as dominant as Chandler Jones, like Chandler Jones. You know, they once had with Chandler Jones. Sorry, I'm not speaking properly today. Chandler Jones was a dominant player for them on the line. Then he left, and now if you could get someone like Dexter Lawrence on there to really get their pass rush back going, that's gonna be excellent for them. So. Yeah, that would be just another win in the Patriots fucking hat. So yeah, that's it. That's your first round. And obviously it's gonna be 100% correct because Chet Avery is the best in the business.
Yeah, there's going to be no trades this year, first round.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No
happening.
trades whatsoever. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean the trade tsunami that was the past few years, it's just gonna go to a halt for this draft. So, it's not happening. But in the meantime, it's gonna be fun to see what ends up happening on Thursday night as well as Friday and Saturday as these teams begin to build. And again, Chet, thank you so much for your time. As always, it is a pleasure. Even though this is the second time we've ever talked, but I still appreciate your presence.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Next week, Go Cubs will hopefully be back, and we will recap the draft. Not necessarily this weekend, or not necessarily. It might not be next week necessarily, but probably sometime in May. We'll sit down and we'll look at all the teams, go deep in, and evaluate how everyone is doing in this off season and what to look forward to come the start of the 2019 NFL season. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun, and I am so excited to see what happens. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
So long.